Let's go.
Hitting go live. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and whatever else you want to call yourself. MC has some things he would like to say, and
MC?
if you look really true, fair point. Nomad has some things he wants to say. And if you listen really carefully, you may spot a hidden rant. You might not notice it. You might need someone to tell you about it.
Hold on. This is all rant. This is going to be one rant from another rant to another rant. Today is rant day. I am going to rant. Okay? Period. There's no shade in this. You might want to sit up there and turn down the volume. In fact, you might not. You might want to turn it off because you'll still probably be able to hear me. At least Batman will. All right? I know he's listening already. All right? Let me tell you something
Before
right
you
now.
do.
What do you mean
Before you do, I would like to say to all of our American friends, Happy July the 4th, and just assume I've taken the mickey out of it in some way, shape or form, because I would do, but not based on this rant. Please, sir, do unleash the beast.
Go frickin' go! Puts me in a hole. Get her down! Get out! You guys don't even realize he's got a pole. He's trying to shove me back down into a hole to shut me up. All right, that's what these guys do all the time. All right, that's what these Brits have always been about. But we got the 4th of July coming up, and what do we get from the city of Orlando? Oh, the city of Orlando regrets the impact of fireworks promos, saying people probably don't want to celebrate USA, and I can't blame it. Go F yourselves! Okay? Oh, there's too much hate in the world. All right, people probably don't want to celebrate America because America's full of hate, and we can't blame them. Go F yourselves! You're the ones full of hate. You hated this country from the very beginning. And when people say, hey, you're wrong, you go, oh, we gotta put the media on you. We gotta stick the world on you. You're a racist. You're a bigot. You're a sexist. You're a homophobe. You're a misogynist. You're everything. Oh, you're what's wrong in this country because you're not letting me do what I want. I want to be a freaking slut. I want to be a hedonistic asshole. Oh, you're telling me I'm wrong. You shouldn't be able to tell me I'm wrong. I should be able to get in your face and tell you, well, you shouldn't be cursing your morality on us. You Christians are all alike. You Christians are all a problem. You never should be allowed to even speak. How dare you pray, all right, on school grounds? How dare you? Oh, you're Muslim? That's okay. Go F yourselves. The entire city council of Orlando should immediately be fired. These are people who hate the country, hate the city, and hate you. And if you think just because you're on the left that somehow you're going to get a pass, really? Take a look at all the leftists that are getting hammered right now that are walking around going, wait a minute, I'm on your side. Take a look at the guy, all right, that was just on the TikTok that went off on the liberal loony woman because they had an auto accident telling him to go back to his own country. Go back where he came from. Look at it. You think these leftists, that you as a leftist are somehow immune? Oh, you're not the primary target. I will agree with you. But when they run out of targets, you're next. Always has been. And you freaking moderates, you guys are the ones that caused it because you have no principles. You are not willing to stand on any principle because your principle is, I don't want conflict. And you know that the only ones who have stood down time after time were the conservatives. And because of that, all right, you've been siding with the left every chance you get because you're fucking gutless cowards. Well, we can't celebrate America because America's full of hate. Well, maybe you should put your hate aside. Maybe you should stop trying to spit on the country at every opportunity. What you got a thing like George Floyd happened in the... Who cares what happened to George Floyd? except for George Floyd's family. I'm gonna be real blunt with you right now. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. No more than anybody else's. And I'll tell you what, they don't. George Floyd's lives only matter if they can sit up there and hold up a drug-addicted thug, all right, who beat people, who died because of an overdose, regardless what a terrified jury said, because that's the reality. George Floyd would not be dead today if he hadn't OD'd on drugs, period. If he hadn't tried to sit up there and hide the drugs of the drug deal when the cops showed up because of the criminal activity he was engaging in, and he shoved a ton of it down his mouth, a ton of fentanyl, and ended up dead. Just like the 26-year-old NFL player who just died out of nowhere, and they did a toxicology on him, and surprise, surprise, cocaine and fentanyl in his system. A 26-year-old athlete, highly regarded, talented, dead at 26 because he OD'd on fentanyl, and this guy George Floyd has 2 times the lethal dose of this substance in his body, and you go, "Hey, the police, they took him out, they took him out." Because you're too much of a coward to admit the guy did it to himself. And then you all gathered around while the police were trying to make the arrest, all right? And you were all gathering around like a mob, ready to attack. Because he didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do. This country's racist, man. This wouldn't happen to a white man. This person would happen to anybody. Anybody that sits up there and does drugs, all right? Anybody that does an illicit substance like this can OD at any point in time. There's plenty of dead white guys that have done this. There are plenty of dead white guys that have pulled a gun on the police and gotten shot down. You see people rioting in the streets? Oh, this wouldn't happen. This wouldn't happen to a white person. It happens all the time. It doesn't happen to white people mostly because when the police show up, when the po-po show, they don't run. They say, "Got me." Because they know if you run, you increase the likelihood that you're going to sit up there and chew on lead for a while. That it'll be inserted in various orifices or they'll be created for you. But apparently, if you're a minority in this country, running from the po-po is supposed to be normalized. It's supposed to be expected because, well, you can't expect the minority person to act responsibly. Oh, where do you get that from? Right? I'm not to be expected. That's to happen. Oh! You banned abortion. They didn't. They overturned Roe v. Wade, and have now left it up to the states. That's it. That's all they've done. Roe v. Wade. Well, they took away my rights. If they took away your right, then tell me, prior to 73, did you have that right? Because if your attitude is that the government gives you rights is the only way you can come to that conclusion, moron. I want the right to kill. It's my body, my choice. What about the baby? It's my body, my choice. What about the other body? It's my body, my choice. That's the only response you get from these clowns.
Yeah.
And when you start the debate, when does life begin? All right. Well, no. When does human life begin? When does human life become sacred? And I don't mean sacred in the sense of religion. I'm talking about in the sense of an individual, as an individual being. When do they become that? When does human life begin? Because until you're willing to answer that question, okay, which leftists never want to answer, you got people right now on the left thinking that they should sit up there and be allowed to kill a child 3 or 4 days after the baby's supposedly born. They want the right to kill the child whenever they feel like. Think about that. And yeah, and they're out there. Oh, you can find them. It isn't hard.
Mm-hmm.
This country's full of hate. No, people are standing up to you and telling you, stop your hatred. They're holding a mirror to your face, and the hatred that you see is what's spewing out of your mouth.
Yep.
Griner, she's in jail in Russia. No shit, she's in jail in Russia. She wouldn't be there if she was white. Yes, she would. She wouldn't be there if she was Tom Brady. Really? If Tom Brady went to Russia and they caught him with drugs, I guarantee you he would be in jail. In fact, they would be parading him around.
Oh yeah.
rather than Griner.
Yeah.
Hey, she's living in the country she wanted to go to. She wanted to go make money in Russia, and she was making a lot of money in Russia. Not blaming her for going to Russia to make money. She wants to go to Russia and blame and make money. No one gives a shit. But you know what? When you break their laws, you get to pay their consequences. And I'll tell you something else. She went over there happily making money because that's all she thinks America is about. Money, 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 because that's all you leftists think America is about. All you ever see, all you ever compare America to is always money related. How much money do I have versus that person over there? And if I don't have as much as that guy over there, this country's racist, is sexist, is bigoted, is homophobic.
You're not wrong, dude.
It's all about the you. It's all about the me. It's all about I. Well, go fuck yourself, because guess what? Society isn't about you. There are other people in society. And what's more is when you get pregnant, there's another person you're dealing with. Now, there's another freaking issue that just came up on Twitter where I saw it. A story in Ohio, right? Where this, we got a 10-year-old who can't get an abortion. All right, first of all, this is a lie. All right? Because any competent doctor, any competent physician would say, this is a threat to a 10-year-old. A 10-year-old having a baby is a threat to the baby. All right? It's a choice now between her life and the baby's life. Period.
Yep.
Okay? That's an ethical dilemma, all right? And the reality is, sure, can people take risks with it? But this should be explained and should have been explained to the family that this is a threat to the child. Because the child is 10. The body is not ready, all right, to birth a child. But then comes the next question. How'd she get pregnant? Did she fall on a turkey baster full of sperm somewhere? All right, how did she become pregnant? All right, where's this supposed father? Where's the father in this? Where is it? Where's he at, and why is this criminal not in jail? This hedonistic pushing of this kind of morality. Do you think maybe this 10-year-old thought sex was okay because she was busy watching frickin' trans people strut their stuff in front of everybody that says, well, it's okay to do this kind of shit, even though I'm a 10-year-old? Where did she start engaging in sexual activity? Now, I'm just making some assumptions here that she wasn't just flat out raped by her father or relative in some regard. I don't know. But I can tell you this, it's very unlikely, all right? It's very unlikely that, she fell on that turkey baster. I really don't think she found a turkey baster to inseminate herself with.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that there's a tragedy now about to take place. Well, but she can't get an abortion. I don't care that she can't get an on-demand abortion, but I guarantee you she'd gone to court and asked to sit up there and say, hey, this is a medical adjudication issue. It's because that's what this is at this point.
Oh, yeah.
The only problem, of course, is you got doctors who are just as leftist as everyone else, and they're like, we can rub it in. Don't worry, little girl, we really care about you. It's our chance to go after people. Because these doctors should have already made that assessment to say, look, this is a 10-year-old. She is running more than a normal risk with childbirthing here. Because she is. It's a danger to her and the child that's in her. One of the two will die, very likely die already. That's a given. But instead, you have the media trying to sit up there and play games with it. While at the same time, in the story, everyone's asking the same question. How did she get pregnant? This is a 10-year-old. But you don't ask, apparently the reporter, somehow, that question did not frickin' occur to the reporter. Somehow, to the media, that did not occur to the media, all right, to ask that question. Well, here's some more things, all right, folks? Here's some more things we're going to sit up there and deal with right now. All right, ready? All right, just sit back and listen to this rant. All right, now I will show you where I'm getting this from. All right, this is coming from a YouTube channel called Speak for Yourself. All right, and they were busy kibitzing about this. But let's play this.
I'm coming to speak not on just my behalf, but all athletes' behalf, that when you guys do interviews, y'all should respect athletes more. Y'all should understand them coming from whether they're winning, whether they're losing, whatever the case may be. Athletes deserve way more respect than when y'all just come and throw cameras into their faces. Understand how an athlete operates and then ask your questions. Then be more understanding of the fact that they are still human, no matter just the fact that y'all just trying to get something to put out in an article to make $1. Thank you.
Okay. Now, you just heard her comments, right? Now, she's a loon. This is not someone I really support, okay? If people who don't know, this is Sha'Carri Richardson, all right? She is a U.S. female sprinter, okay?
Yeah.
But believe it or not, she's female, all right? All right? She's not a trans. She's an actual female. She's an actual woman. But she's right about the media. Except for one thing, right? The media, with her saying, the media should respect athletes more. No. Ms. Richardson, you don't deserve respect because you're an athlete. Sorry. But I do agree that when you're out there as an entertainer and you win and you lose, and when you win, the media is there, and when you lose, the media are there like frickin' carrion vultures that they are, the frickin' carrion eaters that they are, right, that swoop in and they want to help destroy you.
Yeah.
This woman, all right, set the record, all right, for sprinters under 20 years old. She is a world-class runner for females. Right? And she got beat. And should she have gotten beat? No. Should she have failed to qualify? No. Do I have a lot of sympathy for her? No. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why. Because last year, in 2021, she was caught doing dope. Doing marijuana, okay? I have no sympathy for you. You are a friggin' moron. But she's not wrong about the media. She's not wrong about the damn freaking bottom feeders that the media actually is. And the media, these guys in the media, all right, are all up in arms. How dare she attack the media? How dare she say things about you? Because you're vermin. You're leftist vermin.
Yep.
All of the media that you see are leftist vermin for the most part. After an athlete just has a major disappointment in life, after you as an athlete sit up there and go out there, let's say you're in the NFL and you just played the Super Bowl and you missed the tackle that led to your team losing, okay? Or you're the kicker who kicked the field goal and missed as the seconds went off the clock.
Yeah.
The media, yeah, the vultures descend. Carrying, we got fresh meat. We're gonna rip this guy to shreds. And of course, people are vulnerable at that time, and the rest of the team, all right, the rest of the people around them should shield them from the media. There should not be a requirement, all right, on any of these professional tours, all right, that these athletes have to talk to the media after a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I don't think they should have to talk to the media after a win.
Agree.
Not immediately. All right? You can't expect somebody to come up an hour later and speak to you and be in their right freaking mind as they're trying to process all this. Now, if they want to speak, that's fine. If you're the coach, yeah, you should have to do that because you're not the ones participating. All right? But as far as the actual athlete, no, they shouldn't have to. She's right. She's right about this. Now, she's a loon. You could tell that just from the pictures. Right? I mean, it's pretty freaking obvious if you take a look at this picture how much of a loon she really is, folks. First of all, look at these nails. You're a moron.
Oh,
all right?
Yeah.
And then you have little angel wings on your clothing. All right, let alone all the rest of the nonsense in your face that's going on.
You know why she's...
Miss Sparkles here? No, she's a loon, okay?
You know why she's wearing those colours, don't you? Red ones go faster. I bet you.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a stupid uniform. I don't really know. I think the sparkles on the uniform, the little rhinestones that she put on there. All right. She's got herself all tatted up. And let me tell you something, folks. Being a hedonist, doing whatever you want, isn't showing yourself self-respect. It's not an indication of self-respect, or that you're calm about yourself, or that you're really thinking about where am I, what am I. When you're just living on the emotional of the now, all right, that doesn't make you, all right, a good person.
Yeah.
And that's all leftists do. That's all what leftism is. I, me, and you can't tell me nanny, noo. And all of a sudden, when people say, no, we can tell you no, we can tell you you're a bad person, we can tell you you're an amoralistic asshole or an evil son of a bitch because you want to kill children. We have that right. I have the right to call you a murderer when you kill someone.
Yes.
Just like you have the right to scream all sorts of obscenities, all right, at, what's his name? Who is that? Kyle Rittenhouse. He's a murderer. He's not a murderer. He defended his life. You're calling him a murderer because you want to defend the real murderers that were trying to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
No, man. Why are you so vitriolic about this? I don't know. Maybe because I've been called a murderer before. Simply because I was in the military.
Yep.
By these same self-righteous, smug, all right, disingenuous, evil assholes on the left. And they're evil, folks. They're evil. They will not ever stand up for somebody else, all right, if it means they get in trouble. If they have to sit up there and pay any kind of consequences, oh boy, they won't do anything. Oh, no. They got right now this whole Griner shit. And I'm going to say things that people are going to be like, what are you doing? Brittany Griner right now is being abused, all right, by the Russians, all right, flat out. All right, her rights as an American citizen, in my opinion, are being violated. All right, she is being treated as if she's a friggin' murderer because the Russian judicial system is laughable. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not calling her innocent. Notice I haven't called her innocent.
Oh no.
All right. She is being treated badly. And we should be trying to get her out of we should be trying to apply pressure to Russia for that reason. Let her go now. The sanctions, all right, that we put in place on Russia shouldn't be about what they're doing in the Ukraine. We shouldn't give a shit what they're doing in the Ukraine in comparison to what they're doing to Brittany Griner. I would actually support these things, all right, to try and get Brittany Griner home. I really would. And it's not because I think the Ukrainians aren't suffering or that Russia is the good guys in this case. No, I think they invaded the Ukraine. I think in the geopolitical world, it's not a surprise. I also think in the geopolitical world that there's no freaking way Ukraine can sit up there and defend itself. It has no defensible borders. They're learning that.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them. But if your nation does not have a defensible border, guess what? You won't be a nation for very long. And they haven't been. Are they ethnically unique? Yes. But they're living next to a nation, all right, that is paranoid. Okay? You guys, it amazes me that everyone thinks that Putin is the problem. You could, if you whacked Putin, if God came down and said, you know what, Vlad, can't have you, man, and hit Putin with a rock from space, right? The next person who becomes in charge of Russia will act the exact same way.
Yep.
Okay? You could take the quote-unquote opposition leader, right? Who's that guy? The guy that Putin poisoned. And then threw in jail.
It's a Russian name. Just call him Ski or Koff. One of them's probably right.
All right. If he became in charge of Russia, if he took over, he'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
All right? Understand this. Okay? You think there is a characteristic of Russians. Russians are a very unique group of people. And part of that uniqueness is the vast majority of them are paranoid. Okay? The world is out to get them. All of it. It's part of their national character. Okay? This is the Russian mentality.
Yep.
You guys think it's Putin? No. Putin is acting on the irrational fears, and it's irrational, all right, of the West, mainly because the West is feckless, but even if it wasn't, all right? Western Europe is feckless. Let's be perfectly frank here.
Oh, yeah.
But even if they weren't, Russia would still be doing the same thing. They have a history of doing this since their existence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Brittany Griner, I can't stand her. I can't stand her paramour, all right? Her supposed wife, boyfriend, husband, whatever you want to call Cheryl. Okay? Whatever you want to call her, I really don't care. Do I think she's being abused? Yes. Do I think we should be trying to get her out of there? Yes. Do I think that Biden has any ability to do it? No, because the man is incompetent himself, and the people around him, all the other leftist loons, right, that you guys have promoted as the greatest thing since sliced bread, are as incompetent as he is. Why? Because they're leftists. Show me where a leftist foreign policy has ever worked. Jenson, you guys have had freaking leftist after leftist running your country. Can you show me where one of your foreign policies under one of those cretins was ever successful?
The closest I could say to that is actually quite hilarious for those that are Britain, and that is to go for Tony Blair. And if you know anything about Tony Blair, you're going to start laughing at this exact minute. This man was so corrupted. It is actually funny. It really is.
What foreign policy, positive foreign policy gain ever came from Tony Blair for Britain? Doesn't have to be for the United States, doesn't have to be for the world, just has to be for Britain.
We invaded Iraq for no good reason?
Well, you're wrong about that, but that's a separate issue. All right. No. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
And you didn't invade Iraq. You sit up there and joined us on our invasion of Iraq after the fact.
Fair point.
Well, I shouldn't say after the fact. You were there with us when we went in. I'm not going to lie. All right. But that's a separate issue.
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, so you joined the U.S., all right, in the invasion of Iraq. To say it's for no good reason is ridiculous. All right.
Actually, I'm going to disagree with you there, and I'm going to argue it because of one reason. I'm actually defining it as the media over here would put it, not my personal opinion.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Thank you. Yeah, no. The media over here would say it was for no good reason. My opinion is a completely separate statement. Okay?
Yeah, okay. But in my opinion, all right, just so people understand this, our invasion of Iraq had what was very important. Now, our invasion of Iraq is a failure due to the policies after the invasion. Nothing to do with the invasion in and of itself. Although even then, things could have been done differently. Okay?
Yeah.
But we had leftist generals in charge. Leftist generals like Richardson. When you put these freaking political hacks in charge of these fools, all right, in charge of this is the result. And then after we invaded Iraq, they immediately moved into the freaking whole leftist commie division from America called the State Department. And every freaking one of them should be fired and taken out and flogged for what they did. Well, no, man, you don't understand. No, I do understand. The problem is you don't, because you don't have the intestinal fortitude to look at people that are committing evil and saying, you know what? You guys are some evil sons of bitches, and we're not letting you control shit. Here's how you'll live. Here's what you'll eat. Here's where you'll sleep. Period. They're not treating it right. They're not treating it. Shut the hell up and learn. This is what it takes to take an evil culture and change it.
Yep.
You don't understand who those people over there currently are. And they're human beings. No, they're not. They're animals. They are not civilized. You can admire people who are savages because there's certain things about savages that are admirable. But I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to being civilized, you're better off being civilized than a savage. And it's about time the world understood that. Because if you live in savagery, all right, all hell's going to break loose. Get ready for it, because you left this. That's what you're prepping for.
Yep.
You're not going to get My Little Pony. You're not going to get the Smurfs. You're going to get hell. You're going to get savagery and butchery on a scale you can't even imagine. Let me tell you something right now. All you freaking little feckless leftists, all right? Do you think World War II can't happen again? And the things that happened to create World War II can't happen again? Especially when the people you support against the evil right wing, all right, are the ones who are committing those kinds of atrocities right now, and you're turning a blind eye because you're like, abortion rights. You're absolute freaking morons. Now, for those people who didn't realize I was going to rant today, you were on the foolish end. Right?
It's kind of in the name for the show, people. You know, subtle clues were given.
Right? I'm not going to tolerate that spit at America at every opportunity and then turn around and go, see, I'm a patriot because I spit on and I shit on the country. That doesn't make you a patriot. And the only reason you can do it is because real patriots, right, will sit up there and tell you you're wrong, but not put a bullet in your head. Okay? Because you know that the people who disagree with you aren't the ones who are the violent ones. You are. But you're learning, you're quickly changing a lot of the opponent's minds to say, you know what? Violence works. Let's work it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you right now, BLM believes violence works.
For them, it did, let's be fair.
It did. They got the outcome that they wanted. It's a shit outcome. It's a shit decision, and everybody knows it's a shit decision, all right? It's just racism in America. Racism. It's not racist. What happened to George Floyd had nothing to do with his race.
No.
Now, you can bitch about police brutality. I love listening to that freaking lovely line.
Yeah.
I've said this before. What do you expect from police? Well, I expect them to be respectful, and I expect them... No, you don't. You're an idiot. That's not their job. If you expect that from police, somebody should slap you, all right, repeatedly until you start coming up with an adult version of what the police have to be able to do in order to maintain peace.
Yep.
In order to maintain order. They shoved that little old man to the ground. That protester, they shoved him to the ground. They're lucky they didn't freaking beat him with batons, because he deserved to get be beaten with batons. Just a few years ago, 2 years ago, I guess it was now. That asshole in freaking Buffalo. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
He shoved him to the ground, no man. He shoved him to the ground. He shoved him back. The guy freaking was 70 years old, tripped over himself, and then macked his head. I have no problem with that. He intentionally put himself to try and stop the police. You don't have that right. At that point, the police could have done a number of things. Did they shoot him? No. Did they hit him in the head with a baton? Unfortunately, no. Did they just shove him backwards? As he physically tried to stop them, did they just shove him backwards? Because he was physically trying to stop them. Do you understand? The police are going to come and meet physical force with overwhelming physical force. But we're going to come back and go, oh, they could have handled it another way. They could have talked to him, and they could have petted him on the head. Or that's true. Or they could have beaten him up at the head. You know what? They could have got a gun, put a bullet in his head, right, and continue to march and left the body in the street, too.
Yep.
But you know what? You're given a mission, you carry out the mission. However, you have to carry it out in the most efficacious way to carry it out. Now, to be honest, putting a bullet in the head is the most efficacious way, because it would have stopped the frickin' riots and everyone else would have dispersed, which is what they were told to do before this jackass decided to come up there and go, I'm going to do this illegally. Well, you got to treat him with kid gloves. No, you don't have to treat him with kid gloves. Well, you're just talking about the police being bully boys. You're talking about you're supporting the bully boys. No, I'm telling you what the whole job of police are. Their job is to meet violence with overwhelming violence.
Yeah.
That's their job. And for you to expect otherwise, all right, is a stupid, nonsensical point of view.
Oh, yeah.
The fact is if this guy understood that that was the job of the police, he wouldn't have gotten in front of him like that, would he? No, he thought he could get away with it because a bunch of leftists have convinced him, no, we're all frickin' part of Smurfland, all right, and they're just other Smurfs.
Yep.
La 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 la. Let me tell you something right now. In the reality, in the real world, all right, there would be no Smurfs. Want to know why? Because Gargamel and that cat would have ate all of them.
Yep.
All right? A long time ago. Now, I don't know why Gargamel wants to eat a Smurf. Personally,
No.
I'll be honest with you, they look like they'd be more fun to use like a golf ball and hit them off a tee. But that's a separate issue. I mean, Gargamel coming out there with a freaking golf club, like a pitching wedge. Let's see how far Papa Smurf goes. All right, this would be a lot more enjoyable to watch than him trying to cook one up and eating it.
Yeah. I guess, you know, that's actually a good point. I do wonder what they taste like. Because there's not enough meat on them things, to say the least.
Toss them up in the air and hit them with a tennis racket. This would be an interesting little experiment. Right?
Hey, cat, go along.
Exactly. You know?
Hmm?
And you got to admit that the cat has had opportunity after opportunity to eat them and doesn't. This is one of the reasons why I don't think eating them is probably a good idea. Well, let's be honest with something. There's very few things that are blue that aren't dangerous to eat.
That's a fair statement.
Right? If something is a bright colored blue, it's probably poisonous. All right?
There's a reason your skin goes that funny sort of color. Just saying.
Just putting it out there. All right? Blueberries are an exception, right? And to be honest, blueberries tend not to be blue. They tend to be closer to black to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you the first person that ate the blueberry was eating the blueberry not for food. They were eating the blueberry because, well, you know, maybe this will get me high. Maybe I'll get me a new vision eating one of these. Oh, shit. Now they just taste good. These are all right, everybody.
Yeah.
That's one thing about human beings. I will admit this. Animals, they find what they eat and they eat it, okay? And normally, even the predators will only eat something after they've killed it, and they only killed it because, well, they didn't know what it was and they thought it was a threat.
Yeah.
Okay? And then after they realize it wasn't a threat because they chewed on it, they're like, "Hey, this is pretty tasty." They'll eat it. Otherwise, they don't eat it. Okay? All right? Only domesticated animals like dogs eat their own shit. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. But don't forget, dogs are really smart. Sure.
Well, dogs
okay.
have adopted some human habits, both good and bad.
Fair point.
That's one of the bad ones. Guess what, folks?
Yeah.
I guarantee you there are humans that have eaten their own shit.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
Because humans will try to eat everything. Don't believe me?
Yeah.
Look at a toddler. Okay? And if you ever have kids, all right, you will see this in toddlers. They stick everything in their mouths. Everything!
Yeah.
Except the food you're trying to feed them. Okay? All right,
Yeah.
Except for what you're trying to feed them, because they're like, no, I already know what that tastes like. Let's go lick the light socket. Okay? Everything goes into their mouths. Erasers go into their mouths. That's why you had to be careful of leaving Tide Pods out, because they look at a Tide Pod and go, let's see what this is like. Now, normally, toddlers don't die of Tide Pods. You want to know why? Because as soon as they taste it, they spit it out. They're not like teenagers that go, maybe I can chew through this.
Here's a thing for you to think about. What must the first person have been thinking when he came up with the idea of, let's make civet cat coffee? They dug out the beans out of a civet cat crap, toasted it, and then drunk it as coffee. I mean,
Jenson,
really?
Jenson, what is the guy thinking when he grabs a frickin' toad and licks it for the first time? The first one goes, And you know what? And you know what he did? He grabbed it, and the first thing he did is look down at it, and then look to the left and look to the right to see if anybody else was watching, and then he licked it. Okay?
Yep.
That's how people got to toad licking. You know that's what happened.
I'll actually believe. I'll believe that. Yeah.
Well, who's the individual? All right, now that comes up with, that's a pretty big spider. That's a plate-sized tarantula. I wonder what it tastes like. Who comes up with that? Well, some Aborigines did. Who was the first Aborigine that said, you know what, this big-ass spider, you think you're going to chew on me? Screw you. It's vengeance time. I'm cooking you and eating you.
Yeah.
Who was it? Human beings stick everything in their mouths. Everything. All right? This is why you got to be careful of toddlers, because they have no freaking filter at all. They literally stick crayons. They will stick anything their hands can lift, and they eventually will stick it in their mouths. They eat dirt. Okay?
Hold it. Whoa. No, man. Are you saying that toddlers are Marines? They eat crayons after all.
No comment.
Horrifying thought, isn't it?
Trust me, people will. If human beings have tasted everything this world has, and when they create something new, they then taste it eventually. If you don't believe me, think of it this way: when they discovered radium, they stuck it in their mouths, right? People
Yeah.
who discovered radioactivity died of radioactivity, many of them, because they stuck it in their mouths or were using it as toothpaste. All right?
Yeah. Kind
Human,
of says something, doesn't it?
human beings will eat everything. All right? Or they'll put it in a pill form and still eat it. Just to see what happens. All right? And those are the adults. Those aren't even the children. We never get away from that. Some of them never learn. Some of them, when they stick the key in the light socket, all right, or the wall outlet, and they get the, after they do it once, most of us go, you know what? Not doing that again. But there's always the few that go, let's try it now. No, same thing. Let's try it again.
Well, those ones I can almost deal with. It's the geniuses, and trust me, I do know at least one of these geniuses who actually think, let's try it with the tongue, see if that's any different. Yes. Yes. My friend Tyler has done this. It was hilarious for the rest of us to watch. That's all I can say.
And none of you sit up there and told them anything. That's another thing about human beings, is even when human beings think that's really stupid, they don't tell the person about ready to do it. You know, dude, you're going to get yourself killed doing that. No, they sit back and watch because they need confirmation. I think that's stupid. Let's see that. Whack. Yeah, I guess that was. See, that was stupid, wasn't it? I was right in my first thought process, right?
Yeah.
Why did you let your friend do it? It's like these idiots, okay, that wanted to do reverse bungee jumping. Right?
Oh, sorry, what? Yeah, no. You can go back and explain that one. What?
These guys wanted to reverse bungee jump. So what they did is and their reasoning for it is they wanted to feel the instantaneous acceleration due to the cords. All right. So what they did is they got a bungee thing and a metal plate, and they locked themselves down with the metal plate, right? While they took a crane and tightened up the bungee cord, right? And then they released it.
Wow.
Now, you release the bungee cord going right at because you used a big eye bolt to tie the cord onto it, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they released it, as it got to the halfway point, the guy realized that his speed was just too fast, and he was going to meet the metal plate that was holding the eye bolt together on the crane.
Oh.
You could tell that because of his squealing, like, oh my God, I'm going to die! Blap! Yeah, you hit the metal plate. I would have made all the other ones that were there ready to try this go through the same experience. Oh, no. You don't get to learn from the stupidity, okay? Because you didn't stop him in the first place. Why they thought they thought that he would go up about halfway and then would float back down again. Why they were thinking that, I have no idea.
Genius. It's just geniuses.
Right? Why somebody didn't take a rubber band and go, watch this. See how far it goes? That's what's going to happen to you. You're likely to hit something like the metal crane. Even if you had missed, all right, the steel plate holding the eye bolt, all right, hitting the rest of the metal crane was going to happen at some point. Right?
And this was why they created the Darwin Awards.
Now, it gets even better because you look at this and you go, okay, nothing against you guys, but if you think, hey, maybe we should try this out, why did you use a human being and not, put like a lump of like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, like cement, get a cement bag to act as the human to see what will happen?
It doesn't make as much fun with the screaming noise. That's why.
Why the media that were all around here to watch this didn't go, that's kind of stupid. Did you try doing this? I'll never know.
You mean that it wasn't just a bunch of lads being stupid? The media was there.
Yeah, no, they invited the media to
Wow.
watch this. This was a few decades
Oh.
ago. But this is, if you remember, it was like three decades ago when bungee jumping was all the craze. It was a craze around the country.
Yeah.
Craze around the world. Hey,
Yeah.
bungee jumping, which I always thought was kind of stupid. Right? It's kind of cool in a way, but the thing is like you realize if there's a failure of that cord, you hit the bottom. Even when you're jumping off a bridge, you realize if you get this wrong, you into whatever else is there, right? You end up.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
You understand this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know people that, I understand the try to get over your fear of jumping like that, going to try and be corrected and everything else, but at that point, wear a parachute. Right?
Mhm.
We've had lots of people surviving these things because they had parachutes. Right? Let's do a parachute. And what's more is you still get people that die. All right?
Yeah.
In parachutes for a variety of reasons. Sometimes the parachute doesn't open right. Sometimes the parachute takes you into the cliff wall. Right? Sometimes it doesn't fully open. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in the parachute. Do it that way. All right? Because most of the time, we got a track record of people surviving lots. Trying to do bungee jumping where your life is on a piece of rubber, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's a brand new piece of rubber, okay, I personally am going to be the person measuring this because I am not doing this much. You are not going to tell me how far down this thing's going to go because there's a lot of times I've seen people when they were doing this old bungee jumping things where the part of the cords, they had multiple cords, bungee cords, but some of them failed, and the person was jumped off a bridge, and guess what? They hit the bottom. They hit the water, and they hit the water at speed. Right? And we're all messed up. You're running that risk. You are running that risk, folks. Human beings will try everything. Think about it. There are morons everywhere. And there's been morons throughout history. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
If you really want to know the truth of the matter, human beings will try moronic shit all the time. Don't believe me? Ask the Greeks. Where do you think the name Icarus came from? Hey, I can fly. You know somebody tried this. We know this. We know this because it was written down. What's more, okay, is we know for a fact that even in the 14th century, one of Leonardo's assistants saw his drawing, said, hey, we can do this, and killed himself attempting to use one of the gliders that Leonardo da Vinci had drawn.
Yeah.
This is all documented. You can go back to the 1200s, right, and there's documentations in China where one of the Chinese scientists at the time, one of their wise men, strapped himself to a chair, all right, filled with rockets and launched himself into non-existence.
Yeah.
Okay? Human beings will try everything. Because there's always that, what's over there? And some of them don't have the fear gene. Some of them just have the I'm curious gene, right? Everyone has different relationships between the I'm curious and I'm afraid, right? Now, some people have lots of curiosity and no fear, or lots of fear and no curiosity, or very little curiosity, right? That's how human beings are. We're all individuals.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Sixer.
Hello. What I see, I've dropped into one of his rants.
Oh, you missed most of the ranting. My voice is already, as you can tell, a little damaged.
I've caught you in mid-rant, but whoa, what's this about? Icarus? What's going on?
We're talking about human stupidity.
Nomads.
That's nothing to get angry about. We know it's common. There's nothing we can really do about it. People are going to be stupid no matter what.
Save a couple of points of irritation. I have something to say near the end that you may wish to give an opinion on.
Uh-oh.
What's your by the way, Sixer, just so you know, just so you can see here, this is one of the people we were talking about, and I was actually on her side.
Which person is this?
This person I'm showing.
What the fuck is that?
What did I tell you? Doesn't that look like some 80-year-old Indian woman at first glance?
This looks like somebody's in mid-transition.
That is.
That's also true.
That is a woman. That is Sha'Carri.
Really?
That is Sha'Carri Richardson. She's an American sprinter. She's also an idiot.
I have no words.
All right.
Nope.
Believe it or not, they went after her because she failed to qualify for the world championship in the 200 meters.
Right.
Okay. And she went on an emotional tirade against the media, all right, having no consideration for these athletes after they lose, right? By just coming up to them like vultures and sticking the microphones in their face. And she's right about that aspect of it.
Okay? Oh, yeah.
Especially when you just finished the race. Yeah, just a sec.
Well, she is a world-class sprinter, right? I mean, there's no denying that. She's also a moron. Okay, last year she got zapped, all right, because she was smoking weed and got caught, right? Which, it's like, if you haven't got it into your head yet, right, don't smoke weed when you're a professional athlete, right?
Is this fair?
All right.
Yeah.
Now the other problem, of course, is with
she was smoking weed, was she?
Yeah.
Sorry, oh, blimey. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, as if that's not going to show up on a drugs test.
Well, I can tell. Okay, there's one thing that people don't realize. Right? I'm gonna say some things that are gonna get me in trouble, right? Because I have never smoked marijuana or done anything with marijuana, but there's things about I have investigated marijuana from a clinical perspective to a degree. Okay, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I have looked at papers and things like that. One of the things about that they test for when they're doing like your analysis and everything, there's looking at THC content. Right, and
what? Sorry. Just one. Shirati, what do you say? What do you mean? Why am I afraid of you? What do you mean by that? Why do you put that down?
Because she won't let her join your server. Because
it's for the British Academy. It's been locked out. That's what it is. No one else can come in. That's what that's about.
Are you going to listen to me, Sixer? Or are you just going to?
Sorry. I just had to say that. That was all.
You going to pay attention, son? Do I got to take you back to school?
No,
do you got to go back to school for this?
Pay attention,
Where's
son.
my ruler? Where's that damn ruler at?
Oh dear God.
Wow. Talk about triggered.
Sorry.
You're not sorry. Stop it.
You're right. I'm not sorry. All right. Now, THC, all right, is fat soluble. Okay. So for a professional athlete, when they smoke marijuana, it's not going to be in their system for very long because they don't have the fat to absorb it. Okay. These people are running between 2 to 5% body fat, right? Especially sprinters. Okay, they have very little. So THC will go through their system much faster. Now, for the average person who has between 15 to 20% body fat, all right, the THC content that'll show up in a urinalysis will last a lot longer because, like I said, THC is fat soluble. It's absorbed by the fat cells, all right, and then slowly re-released through the system.
Around 30 days, just to let you know.
Depending upon the amount, yes. Okay.
Yes.
But for an athlete, a professional athlete, it's very possible that you will not be able to detect it within 10 days. Right, because they have so little body fat. All right. Now that's why a lot of them will get away with it. That's why a lot of them don't think that they can get away with it. But if you're stupid enough to sit up there and know that you have an event coming up and you're going to do a weed, you're an idiot.
Well, duh.
All right. So that's just telling you the mental, you know, the mental gymnastics that this woman went through. But one of the things that these athletes do, especially
I'm
these sprinters,
surprised she didn't use race in there as well. To be honest, as well, just want to pop that in.
all right, hold on a second. This has nothing to do with race. If you take a look at this woman, you think those are the only pictures of her. Take a look at this. Okay? Now look at these nice little wings on the knees. All right? This, let alone the freaky hair, the eyelashes, the rhinestones in the uniform, the fingernails that look like she wants to have claws rather than fingernails. Even that, you're like, okay, that's just. Did you see these little wings on the knees?
Classic.
All right. Do you need to know anything more about the woman in general? But she's not wrong about the freaking media. They're vermin.
No.
Okay? These are people that are disgusting. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the media shouldn't exist. But the reporters themselves that go out there and stick a camera in front of somebody's face who's suffering for whatever reason need to freaking get a life. And they should be beaten. Just putting it out there. You stick a camera in front of somebody's face who just lost their child, somebody should be walking up with a baseball bat and kneecapping you. Because that's what you're doing to somebody else. That's how disgusting your behavior is as a reporter. Well, we need to get the story. We need to get this. No, you can wait. You can at least give them time to mourn. And I've seen that. And you know who one of those people was? One of those disgusting vermin who I absolutely can't stand? That was Geraldo Rivera did that to a guy. Knocking on the family's door, the father came out. You could tell that he was in tears, right? Because his eyes were all puffy and everything because they were crying over the death of their child. And this asshole stuck a microphone in their face and started asking them questions. And when the guy slammed the door in his face, he had the audacity to turn around. As you can see, they refused to speak to us. Yeah, everyone would refuse to speak to you. You're lucky he didn't come out with a baseball bat and beat the holy hell out of you.
Good to watch. But just so you know, my story is also about someone that you absolutely love and you think is a real hero.
Oh, what's your story about, Jenson? What's your story about? Uh-oh.
Oh, just the Julian Assange thing. I assume you've heard how long they expect America wants him to be put away for?
What do you mean?
No?
How long do we want to put him away for?
You kind of want to put him in jail, and apparently they've calculated how long it's going to be for. 174 years.
No, okay. There's no way he's going to end up with a 174-year prison term. Okay.
I would hope not.
With all the different, they're taking everything and saying, okay, if he's charged with this, and he's charged with this, and he's found guilty of this, and he's found guilty of that, and he's found, they're just putting a bunch of charges out there that they know over half of them are going to be gone when the judge takes a look at it and goes, no, this one doesn't apply, this one doesn't apply, this doesn't apply. All right, but you got to wait to a court for a judge to sit up there and go, these are the ones that you're going to be allowed to come up with, right?
I agree, and the cross-reference to it is, just remember that Ghislaine Maxwell has 20 years. And this guy is theoretically getting 174 years. Which one do they consider more important? Obviously, him, not what she did with those kids.
No,
Because he has dirt.
No, it's not that. But you don't think Ghislaine Maxwell has dirt?
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fact is they're not. That's not what's happening in Julian Assange. Julian Assange is the maximum Julian Assange would get is 10 years. That's the maximum. All right. And in reality, if he does get convicted of everything that they're trying to get him convicted of, if he gets more than 5 years, it'll be a surprise because that's more or less going to be the standard. Now, personally, do I think that we, and a lot of that has to do with the fact, to be honest, of the incarceration that's going on right now. All right, all of that plays into it because he is incarcerated right now. He's not allowed to go free, which is
Yeah.
in my opinion bullshit right now, because while he's fighting extradition, there's no reason why he needs to sit up there and be in prison in any way, shape, or form. So all that will be taken into account, and that's what would happen to him. Now, that being said, at this point in time, is it worth the effort to charge him? No, it's not worth the effort to charge him because of all the other things. Should we charge him? Yeah, but to be honest, we should have taken, his butt buddy, all right, that started all this horse shit, all right, good old Bradley, all right, and putting a bullet in his head to show people what we thought of traitors to the country, all right.
Yeah.
That's what we should have done. And I'll tell you what, Snowden, if somebody put a bullet in his head, it wouldn't bother me either. Because they're traitors to the nation. They're not heroes in any sense of the word.
Yeah.
What is Julian Assange? He's an alien enemy, all right, trying to run a foreign spy network to harm this nation. That's his intent. That was his goal, and that's what he did.
Yes.
He just tried to tell people the truth. No, he's not. He's trying to harm people, all right? The people he don't like. You think he's telling everybody all the things? It's the same problem I had with Snowden. Snowden made a lot of claims about people. How many people went to jail because of what Snowden's put out? And I'll tell you something. He could have named names. Did he? No. Why? Well, because some of them were his friends. And he didn't want to get them into trouble. Oh, this big hero is willing to sit up there and let people frickin' break the law because they're his friends. Just my opinion.
Feel better now?
That's a calm rant. What are you talking about?
No, that was actually. He's burnt a lot of his rant away earlier. It was, oh wow, you should have heard it.
Sounds like I have dodged a bullet.
Oh, no. Seriously, mate, go and listen to the first part and just be stunned at what he says.
Don't have your headset on. Just you've been warned.
Oh, but I was going to say, Jenson, going to try and do a show tomorrow. Are you available?
Theoretically, yes. I think it's a really good day to do a show.
Okay. That's why I'm doing it because of a particular day, treason day.
You guys were far more treasonous than we were.
Sorry?
You guys earned this.
Earned what?
You earned our rebellion.
Don't worry. You're paying for it right. You're paying for it right now with Joe Biden, sir. There you go.
No. We're not paying for that for Joe. We're not paying that.
You are paying big time, guys.
You know what we're paying for?
I've got to go, mate. Nice meeting you.
We are paying for the Brits. We are paying for the British, all right, inability to put a bullet in Marx's head when they had the chance. Just put it out there, all right? When he was sitting in Britain making up all this stupid shit and this Communist Manifesto, which he wrote in Britain.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
No, you're correct. And by the way, I've actually been to his grave.
Did you piss on it? Did you piss on it?
No, it was more of a, who cares? No, that was literally my response.
Exist.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Okay.
I had to get my assistant as well. Bye.
What the hell is Sixer doing?
Hopping in and making silly noises at you.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to make that point about dear old Julian. Apparently, we are seriously considering giving him up, so it's your problem soon, I hope. I really do.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think by the end of the year he'll be in American custody?
No, that's an annoying thing.
All right.
We'll still have the idiot. people
You'll
are just going to go, nah, nah, nah.
It'll be
And he
3
won't
years.
go.
You will have kept him in solitary confinement for 3 successive years.
You know what I think he's hoping for? Time served.
Well, that will be calculated in our prison sentence.
Yeah, but since it's anything up to 174 years, time served ain't really going to help that much.
It's not going to be 100
fair.
something years, folks. We know this. We know it's not going to be 100 something years, right? Now, can we charge him with a lot of stuff and a lot of code things? I think that you're going to have a problem with a lot of things that they talked about. All right, charging him with, all right, is dependent upon certain things like where you are. And since he's a foreigner, not in our country, when a lot of this stuff went down, okay, he himself can't really be charged with some of the stuff that they're trying to charge him with, right? That they're saying that they're saying as a part of this. Okay, so that's not going to happen that way. Okay, it's just not.
Mm-hmm.
I know people are going to disagree with this, but you can disagree all you want. But the reality is he's not going to be charged with a lot of the crap that he should be charged with. All right, is he a foreign intelligence asset? Yes, he's a foreign intelligence asset. All right, or a agency rather. Right. Was that his goals? Yeah, that's been his goal. All right, his goal is to harm America. All right, don't ever think that it is anything more than that. It's not about telling people the truth. It's not about letting people know the truth or anything else. All right, and it never was. And it's not about being a reporter, right? And then finding things out. He did far more than just try to as a reporter find out information that people gave to him. That's far more than what he did. He went way over the line. Okay. He paid for intelligence. Period. He paid for it. This is not a reporter, okay, who gets an envelope like the plumbers, all right, in the Washington Post, where he gets a manila envelope, all right, with a bunch of classified information. That is not what happened with him. And the claim that it is bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Snowden, all right? Snowden has been a problem for the intelligence community for a long time. And where did Snowden begin his work? He began his work at the CIA. All right?
Oh, no, I'm shocked. You mean CIA might have done something bad?
There's a reason I'm putting this out there. Out of college.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And so what you end up with is this Haley Smith, all right, that they brought in, okay, and he acted like Haley Smith. Okay? If you wonder what I'm talking about, Haley Smith, I'm talking about American Dad, the daughter. That's who infests the CIA. Right? No, I know you know. I was just telling the audience. Right? That's who infests the CIA. They're a bunch of freaking commies. They really are. There's very few of the quote-unquote Stan Smiths. If the Stan Smiths were running the CIA, we'd be a lot better off today.
Yeah.
We'd have a lot few. And when I say we. I mean the world. The world is damaged by leftist philosophy, period. There's nothing positive the leftist philosophy has ever given the world. And if I'm wrong, you feel free to point it out.
No, I know.
Just putting it out there, folks. Just putting it out there. That's all I've got to say today.
Okay.
Just that's all I got to say.
Okay, it's fair.
So
Do you have any more things you want to elucidate to people with?
What were you supposed to talk to me about? I remember I mentioned something early on. I told you to bring up.
Sorry?
I told you to bring up. Make sure you brought up in the stream. Do you remember?
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I don't remember either. I don't even remember you saying it, so don't feel bad. It's been an hour. I still remember my own name. I'm doing well. Okay.
My voice is damaged. I can't even do a good Sam Kinison rant right now.
Yes, because you did one halfway through, or at least close to it. Alright. Well, in that case, I suggest we bring it to a close here. If we think of any more, we can always do other streams other times. Thank you very much for your oh so subtle opinions that you gave at the beginning that hardly anyone would have noticed at all. Not even slightly. And good opinion on Assange. I guess we'll see what we see with that. To be honest, you're probably not wrong, but it would be good if he actually had the living crap kicked out of him. And thank you very much for coming along, people, both ladies, gentlemen, and whatever else you want to call yourself. Oh, and Sixer. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, you heard me. I'll see you tomorrow for your stream. Don't worry, Sixer. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye.